Hey everyone, let's try that again. Like they kicked me out of the room. I'm here. I'll wait for you guys to come back into the room. All right, you guys coming back. I had to start a whole new one. Looks like YouTube had kicked me out. It's gonna be one of those nights. Let me check my Wi-Fi here. My settings here. Looks like it's gonna be one of those nights. Sorry, my finger's in your face. All right, you guys back. I'm gonna wait for more of you guys come back. Just my luck, right? That's okay. We'll just keep going with it. Hey Kay, how you doing? Hey Christina, if I didn't say hi, welcome back for take 2 here. We're gonna make this happen. All right. Thank you, Brooke. You just have to get back on. Oh, thank you, Pamela. All right, you guys get back on and I'm gonna start this again. Does anyone not know what this tool is? If not, you can get this tool at any craft store pretty much. It's pretty hard and it's a great stencil. This is like 6.5 inch by 6.5 inch. It's a great tool so you can see through to your fabric to know where you're cutting. So I'm gonna use that today. All right, you guys making your way back. Sorry about that. Etsy. YouTube kicked me out. I had to start back. So I'm just gonna dig right in. Don't worry guys, if you guys can't figure this out, I'm going to be doing a video tutorial that's not live, so then you guys can be able to figure it out, you know, step by step. All right, just when I had a bunch of you guys here, I lost a lot of you. Now you guys are making your way back. Thank you, Jessica. Sorry if I didn't say hi. Hey, Debs, I didn't realize you were in the house, baby. Until now, Wendy Clark, that is. I'm sorry, Deb. I always call you Deb, you're Wendy Clark, but your name's Debs Minark. Sorry, baby. All right, so pretty much what I'm gonna do, if you can see this orange marker here, I don't think you can see that, so I'm gonna grab this cardboard so you can. All right, on this stencil, this orange marker is 1/2 inch. So these blocks are 1 inch. So I'm going to be cutting strips of 2.5 inch. So 2 of these blocks and 1/2 inch. Out of these Kantha square packs that I just opened up, you get 10 of these. You cut 10 of these up, you get 40 squares, which is awesome. So that's what I'm going to do now. You got beautiful pink and you got beautiful here. Hey Kristen, thanks for jumping back in, love. Bearing with me here. All right, yes, right, Rosemary, take 2. Let me see if I'm missing any feeds here. And Ass is here too. Brooke, did you have to come back? All right, can you guys see what I'm doing here? I'm just pretty much cutting my strips out of these squares. So I'm gonna cut these out, and they're gonna be like this. And you're like, how is that a square? It's not a square yet. I'm gonna get 2 out of this. So I'm gonna turn that stencil back and cut another 2.5 squares here. 2 2.5 inch squares. And that's how I did it. And they're quick and even. So while you guys are chatting, I'm gonna cut these guys up and get them ready. Thank you, Karina. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these guys up, and the scraps I'm gonna put over to the side because I use everything. I don't know about you guys. So again, like I said, shop owners who are in this room, while I am cutting and doing the boring part right now, cutting all these squares, might as well go ahead and tell us about what's new in your guys' shop. Aren't those adorable? Now, I don't have the link below because this is take 2. For those who want a Kantha square pack, you can get them, but you're gonna have to go to the first video, get out of this room and go back to that first video to find that link. Otherwise, wait to the end of this video to get to that. So keep all my scraps and pile these up. All right, what am I missing? I never realized how it's so different doing a video on tutorial and not selling something. It's so different. I'm so used to being the saleswoman. Thumbs up, man. Rick, you're hilarious. Hey, Olga. Olga's in the house. Did everyone get their children's junk journal kit yet? I've been sending out packs of Kool-Aid. Those are so beautiful. So I'm piling these guys up. So I'm taking all those 6.5 inch by 6.5 inch squares and getting those squares out of there. I need all those little square blocks to make that little granny square cover. So we are making it happen. Hey, Sunny, Claire, I never get to say your name. I know you. You're also from Canada as well, aren't you? If I'm not mistaken, I love that green. So I'm separating the colors. So pretty much I'm gonna do that was one quilt cover. That was one quilt cover. I should separate these. So when I design my quilt pack, I'm gonna move that guy here. So when I pick out my squares, they're ready. Okay, Olga, what did you say? I'm sorry, I'm gonna read what you're saying here. Hello, Selena girl. Oh, you gotta. Oh, awesome! Your cat pile is piling up there. Oh, Pamela, anytime. Usually, this is my first. So those who think this is like confusing right now, don't worry. I was just telling, I think it was Kristen or someone else, that I will do a tutorial on this. So I'm doing this right now for you guys, and I'll sew and make it. But this is exactly what I'm making. At least you see the end results of the cover. I have the inside cover as well, which that'd be another time. But which would make a 10.5 by 14.5 outside cover, and then you could cut it down to fit whatever journal you guys want. Now, if there's those in the room who have no sewing skills and absolutely loves this cover, let me know. I will set up a listing. I'm thinking about just setting up a listing of making a bunch of these already pre-done. Because they're so easy to make. I know it may look complicated right now as I'm cutting because I'm Brooke, as Brooke says, master quilter. No, I just done this so many times that it's easy for me to do. Oh, anyone don't know what this is? Because I forgot to ask. You can get this at any craft store pretty much. You can get it at like a pretty much Hobby Lobby. Walmart has them. But it's called the Flisk tool. It's a sharp rotary tool that helps cut your fabric like a knife, pretty much. Hey, hon, how you doing? River City, whatever your name is. Do I know you? I don't know the screen name. And am I missing something? Please repeat it if I have not responded, because I'm trying to read feeds and do that at the same time. I'm getting all these squares ready for you guys. I was just on the phone with Kristen because I was concerned, because you guys know I don't junk journal. I have not made a cover per se. I know how to quilt, and that's why I'm doing this. I love to quilt. I would love to make a full-size quilt of this. Could you imagine a lap quilt of this? I have so much scraps. I'm sure I could make a lap quilt. But yeah, at least, hey Angie, hey stranger, at least I can show you guys how to quilt one. So right now I'm just getting all of those squares together. Again, for those who are new in the room, like I said, I'll do a tutorial step by step on YouTube so it's easier for you guys to understand. But out of that Kantha square pack, you get 40 of those squares, which is awesome. Oh, don't you worry about me. I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. I can read beads and do that at the same time. I used to, before I actually did this, I used to do full-time nannying. And I used to sew with the children running around and all that. And I pretty much learned to multitask. So I'm not too worried, but thanks. Not too worried. All right, did anyone share their shop stuff while I'm doing all this? I want to make sure at least I finished up one of these Kantha Square large squares, which are the 6.5 inch by 6.5 inches. Finish those up because that will give us enough for a cover. So I'm almost there. See how fast that is? If you got the right tools, it makes a huge difference. So, and sharp ones, that is. This tool gets dull so easily. All right. Take a break and have a drink and read my feeds. Okay, what am I missing here? I know the fabric's available. I still have some of those Kantha fabric packs. I do have some of the quilts intact as well. If it's not in my shop, just message me. Yeah, it's so good to have Kristen in the house, isn't it? All right, so I see it in bold. Thank you, Brooke, for putting in bold so I can read it. Yes, I do have, if you're talking about, yes, you can use those. I have the scrap packs like this in the shop as well. I don't know how many left, but you can use that to do this. You can use them for tabs. This is the leftovers from my first pack and some from the second pack right now. There's so many ways you can use these, if that's what you're suggesting there, Brooke. If I read it wrong, here, I gotta put this thing closer. I need to read. See? I need to put my glasses. Okay. How often do you replace a blade? That's a good question. It depends on what you are cutting. Like, say, I use this to cut my paper as well. I have certain rotary cutters because I have a lot of rotary cutters. This is my fabric one. I use certain blades for like just only for papers. Same thing, like, you know, when you have sewing scissors, it's almost like the same thing. You need to be picky on what you're using your blades on. If you're using papers, keep that same blade for papers. But I cut fabric every day, like at least easily 2 or 3 hours a day. So this blade here has lasted me, gosh, this is about at least a month old. But I make sure too though, because it opens up right here. You can see the blade comes out. You guys see the blade comes out? And then right here is this little thing you hit, pushes the blade in. It's like a safety. But what I do, I normally open it up, clean it out after every use. If you leave it in there, then the lint stays in there, and then you get this like film. Be careful, this thing is so freaking sharp. Brooke is right. I can't tell you how many cuts I've gotten from these things. So yeah, it depends on what you're cutting. I guess my answer is. Oh, I see. Yes, that's a great suggestion, Pamela. There's so many ways you can, like for instance, here's an example. Like I've already played with my scraps right here. These are scraps and I've been sewing them in a strip. So if you can see, this is the end of one scrap. I'm sewing on another scrap. These are like end scraps and I just keep sewing them together. And I'm doing them in a strip because these strips, you can add them together. So when I do the next strip line, you could do a patchwork going that way. So you could do strips, put the good sides facing each other and keep going. You know, you can use the scraps. I also can use this scrap by making a tie. So I put the two good sides facing each other, sew it, and then you have a nice tie, a Kantha tie, you know. So I keep everything. Woo, you guys have so much writing. I'm kind of like to catch up here. Yes, I say save all your scraps for tabs, save your scraps for, gosh, quilting, layering your guys' projects and all that. So yeah. So you guys notice I cover my machine, especially the top of my machine. Now usually, which I don't right now because I'm busy blabbing my mouth off, I usually in here, make sure with your sewing machine, never keep the foot up. Can you guys see that okay or not? You have like a pressure foot. Make sure if you're not using it, put the pressure foot down on a piece of fabric. This A protects your foot. 2B, it protects any lint or anything going into your machine as you're cutting or doing whatever. And having fabric on top of your machine protects any type of lint or anything going inside your machine and your pieces. So it's in return, you're just kind of protecting your machine. If that makes any sense to anyone. Yeah, go ahead and check out those tools. There's so many. If I can show you, I'm going to lift this up hopefully without, on my wall, I do hang some of them, but there is like, sorry about the zoom guys, sorry. There's so many different like tools. That whole dresser right there is filled with them. I have them for different projects and different things like that. I love my tools. Definitely my tools when it comes to scissors, flisk tools. There's so many different type of fliskers or whatever you want to call it is like the most common. There's so many different brands. Like, let me see if I can find the other brands. There's Olray, or what's that called? Here we go. Let me grab some other ones. And there's so many different sizes as well. So let me grab the other ones. There's so many I haven't even opened up. All right, so the kind of brands that you can get, gosh, there's so many. There is Olfa, I think it's what it's called. They have different blades, like if you want the roughly edge on your fabric. They have, like here's another one. What brand is this? This is, oh gosh, whatever the name of that is. It's backwards for you guys. It's EX55050. Same thing. It's got like the different waffle blade kind of thing. Then there's Dirtz, D-I-R-T-Z, which I've known that for like sewing products. There's that brand. What's this one here? I do know the Olfa is like a European type a brand, but the most common in our area seems to be the Flisker. What do you call that? Now each blade, like these blades are like $5 or $6 a piece, depending on what size you get. So use them while you can. And look at, there's even these little bitty small ones. There's little small ones that open up like this. This one opens side by side. This one here opens like this. There's like a blade up and a blade down to open it up. There's so many different kinds. You're gonna find the one you love the best. So tools are so important. All right, what did I miss? Let me have a drink. All right. Yep, Hobby Lobby has them. What's one thing that's cool about Hobby Lobby is they do like packages. Like sometimes they'll give you a tool like this with some blades and the stencils like this. You know, different ones in a pack for one price. I think it's worth it. Get the combination pack because you do save. Sorry if I haven't responded to you. I'm reading through the feeds. Yeah, I find I picked this one up the most. You guys seen all the new ones I had in there. I haven't really messed with them that much. I love to buy them, as you can see. But I seem to keep using this guy. He's like perfect on the hand. I like the handle. I love the size of the blade. I don't need more tools. I just showed you guys a little bit of what I have. Oh my gosh. But definitely this is my favorite one. And you know what? You can find it at your local Walmart. As you guys can see, my table, I have a full-size cutting, what do they call that? But you can get it at different sizes. Like I have sizes for when I travel. Like I'll give you an example. Here's one size. This one's made by Dirtz. It's like a cutting pad. You know, this one's by Dirtz, or what do you call it? Dritz, or any name you guys want to call it. And it's so thick that when you're cutting on things, which I probably should use this so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing, right? My stencil and everything. But yeah, it's so thick, but I have one that fits my entire table, so I'm not have to worry about it. Self-healing mat, yes. No, this is not a yoga mat. This is a tool, cutting tool mat. Hey Cheryl, how you doing? All right, so okay, so now I got a bunch of squares here. Maybe I should turn this down some for you guys. All right, so I got a bunch of squares here. Hope it's not too foggy. Guys, let me know if it is, and I will adjust this. All right, so I got all these different squares, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab that blue thing because it seems like it sticks out the most. Perfect. And now I'm gonna pick out what I want for squares. Hey Susan, I didn't realize you were on. Sorry if I haven't said hi. I'm trying to do this and that at the same time. Okay, so I'm gonna pick out my squares. So I found that when I did this cover that I made, that it was 1, 2, 3, 4, it was five of these squares wide. And then it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 long. So that's what we're making right here. All right, so I need to do 5 across. So I'm gonna pick out what squares I want, look them over. So there's 1, 2. I like that one. I love the yellows. So this is where you get the fun part. I love this part because I can design. So we can put green here. I wonder if I have any purple. I love purple. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 5. So there's my first 5. So I'm going to go over to my sewing machine, which I'm going to lift this up. Now I can see why people get worried if this is boring. Oh, are they really? I didn't know that. Well, I don't know about healing, but they're really cool. They saved my table. Okay. Hey, Laura. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start my first squares. So this is what I do for those who don't know how to sew. So you take the first 2 squares. You guys paying attention? I hope so. And the sides you want to be facing at the top, you put together like a sandwich. So if I want these 2 to be the top, I sandwich them together. And then I sew on the first line. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with the first line here. Again, it's probably gonna be difficult doing this live. So if I do a video, it'll be a lot easier. Don't mind the noise in the background. All right, so here's my first 2. So what I'm gonna do is keep this on my hand. The next one I want in line, I flop them face to face together. And I'm gonna sew that line right there. So that's the next one. Pretty self-explanatory. Well, thank you, Brooke. After all, I'm a master quilter. I love the sound of a sewing machine. Oh my gosh. Well, a sewing machine that works, right? All right, so we got 3. We gotta do 5 across. So what I'm gonna do is keep it on your hand or on the table the way it is like I'm showing you. Take the next square that you want in line and face to face together and lay them on top of each other. And that's the line you guys want to sew together. That's the next one. All right, pretty easy so far. Let me know if I've lost you. All right. There we go. We got 4 across. We got 1 more to do. I love the lovely blue. So this is what I want it to look like. I face to face and I put them together, sandwich them pretty much. I'm gonna sew on that line. Make sure that line is together. This stuff likes to move and shift. Keep it together. So those who wanna know, where should I sew? So on your machine, you want to sew 1/4 of an inch. Does anyone not know what 1/4 of an inch is? I can show you with my measuring tool. So your machine, you wanna follow 1/4 of an inch straight down. That's all you need. So 1/4 of an inch is half of a half of an inch, if that makes sense to anyone. If not, I'll get my tool out for you. All right, so there's row 1. We can't do nothing more right now, but I'll put row 1 down right there. Can you guys see that? That's our first row. I'm gonna leave him there. Now we're gonna pick our next row. I want it to match, so I'm gonna keep him here and pick out my next ones. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I look at my squares up here. You could do it. So I'm gonna pick out the next ones, and I'm just gonna go ahead and look through here, flip them through, line them up, and see what I actually like or what I want to be there. So I just go through here and figure out how I want this. I don't think we got any blue in there. We don't. Let's see here. Ooh, we got purple. I want to put a purple in there. All right, so that's my next row. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the first one. And these are the first 2 I want. These are the tops. I'm going to sandwich them again. Sew that line. So pretty much we're doing row by row, and then we will sew together. If you want to call it a column or a strip by strip after that. So that's what I'm doing. So there's the first 2. Then you go to the next one. So I wanted purple, so I want these 2 to face each other. I'm going to put that together, hold it together, 1/4 inch sew line all the way through. On to the next one. Those quilts are awesome, aren't they? So this is the next one in line. Put them on there, sandwich them together. Ooh, however, I really do like that blue better, so I'm going to use him instead. The cool thing about those quilt fabrics, each side is different, so you kind of get a variety. There's no perfect way. Try not to overthink it. That's one thing about quilting. Overthinking, you're just going to get swallowed up, so don't. I don't think it washes that one out. I don't know if I like it on that end. I like it better on that end for a flower. All right, so we sew him up, and we got row 2. We have 7 rows that I say we had to do. I think so. Hang on there. Relax there, Sparky. I'm in control. Yes, I'm talking to my sew machine. All right, we got row 2. You can kind of see what I got going here. I got 7 to do, so I'm going to put them through here and keep going. Yep, so you don't sew the rows together until you get them all complete. So that's the next step. Ah, tension. Okay, let me read what I got going here. I need a drink anyways, right? Okay, so sweet. I really want all those quilts. I know. Yeah, I agree, Betty. Quilting is so much fun. And gosh, relaxing. As long as you know your machine, you're all good. Like I said, if you get a new machine, it's pretty much all set up. You just put the thread in it and go. Yes, sewing by hand, Angie, is another love of mine. My favorite part of whenever I quilt is sewing the binding on a quilt, hand stitching it on. That's the only way I do it. I do not sew my binding. Do the pieces have batting between them? Hi, River City Creative. No. What Kantha Quilts are quilts from India, if you're not familiar. And I cut them up, and in between, they're usually between 2 and 3 layers of fabric. And they sew them together with like hundreds upon hundreds of stitches. And the quilts are usually double-sided. So it's like 2 or 3 fabrics sandwiched together and, you know, stitched together. Talk about tension. Hey, Brooke. Now, the thing with tension, it all depends on your sew machine. Most people that I know who seems like are in the junk journal world, you guys seem to have a Brothers or you seem to have a Singer. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone has a different machine out there. Tension. Now, I don't have my Brothers and Singer in front of me. Mine's a digital. I can pretty much, you know, adjust it any way I can. Now, if you have a Singer, you know, usually, or a Brother, there's like a dial at the top. One says tension and all that. Usually the tension you keep between a 4 and a 5. As you see my little finger go up and down. I wish I had my Brother's machine in front of you. Quilting, it seems like your tension needs between a 3.5 and a 4. But if it's really thick fabric, budget up to like a 5 or a 6. Did that help anybody out? Hey, Robin. Hey, Anita, if I didn't say hi to you already. Yep. And so before you even sew at all, what I normally do is take a piece of fabric, like the fabrics that I'm using here today, and I use that to gauge my tension, knowing whether I need to put it up or down on the dial. Mine is digital, so I hit a plus or a minus. But if you have a dial on your machine, always keep it between a 3 and a 4 when you start. And then just put your fabric in there and sew a line. If you find that your fabric is bunching up and stuff like that, budge it up to a 4 or a 5. That widens the stitches for you. Play with your tension until you figure out where it's not bunching up. You don't want it really thick and bunched up. Does that make any sense? Anyone confused on that? And then all hell breaks loose, throw your sewing machine out the window, run back outside, plug it back in. No, I'm joking. What not to do. No, you need to learn that. But now, mind you, new sewing machines, if you've not broken open your machine yet and you're just started and all that stuff, they usually have it all set up for you to start out. So just all else fails, when you turn your machine on, put that dial at a 3 and sew. And if it's bunching up, if it's pulling from the bottom, your bobbin is an issue. If it's pulling from the top, it's your threading at the top. So if I show you this right up here, you get what I'm saying? Next time when I do this, I'll bring out my brother's sewing machine so you guys know what I mean. So if you're putting your fabric through the machine and you find that the fabric is bulking at the top and making a mess at the top, it's your bobbin, your thread at the top. Now if it's bulking up and like spitting out chunks in the bottom, it's your bobbin. Take that bobbin out, put a whole new one in. Don't put that old one back in there. Start afresh. All right, moving on. All right. So we got row 2. Let's move it on. Okay, we need some green in there. Let me move this back down so you guys see what I'm doing. And I need a drink. Does anyone have their sewing machine up and going right now? Or am I the only one? I'm the only one. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Yep, I'm good. Now you guys stick around because I'm doing a giveaway at the end. And the giveaway is gonna be one of these quilt fabric covers. So I hope you guys stick around. Again, ask questions, I'm gonna do my best. Betty. Yes, I agree, Brooke. If you don't have your threading right on your machine, you might as well not even sew. Make sure, just follow the steps. I'm telling you, they make it so freaking easy. Start with your thread, and then you go on to your bobbin. Check your needle. If you're not safe with your needle, put a new one in there. That's how it goes. Do not mess with a machine that's not set up properly. Otherwise, you're asking for trouble. Anyone else have questions about how I put this row together? I will start all over again on the next row explaining it. It is the worst if you do not properly have your machine threaded. Pretty, isn't it? I love it. Oopsie daisy, I have green up there. I am like a stickler about having things like even in color. I don't like 2 colors matching each other next to each other. Yeah, I'm weird. I like things evenly spread out. I just like it even, if that makes any sense. Hey Cindy, hey stranger, welcome. Now, did anyone say they got their sewing machine out? Am I the only one here sewing along? Any other questions about your sewing machine? Problems, I can maybe give you a solution on what the issue is. We got one more, and then it's our 3rd row. Well, we could do this again. So this is the first time I'm doing it. We could do this again sometime this week, say like a Tuesday or Wednesday. You guys let me know. I'll get back on so you guys have time to get your machines on. And heck, if you're near your machine, plug it in now. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to plug your machine in. It's not going to eat you. There's another row. All right, so far we're row 3. Usually if I'm doing this all by myself, it'd be done in a half an hour. I'm just taking my time here trying to talk to you guys. Angie's super fun. You got it. Just start, take out all the thread and everything and start from the beginning. If you're having issues, just take it all apart and start all over. Your machine just can't work unless you do it right. So that's just called sewing life. I don't know a person who has not wanting to kill their machine at some point. And then you're thinking, why am I mad at the machine when I'm the one who did it? Like I'm the one who had the issue. Here I'm blaming my machine and it's all me. It's because I just didn't do it right, or I'm short on a attention span, or I just didn't feel like sewing that day. The worst time to sew is when you have to sew. Like you have an order and you have to have it done. I hate that feeling of sewing obligation. Is that the best way of putting it? Sewing obligation, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. Like my grandkids, like every grandchild has had a quilt or two. Every grandchild, well, other than Parker, my youngest grandchild, he still hasn't had a clothing quilt. But my other two, their first year clothing, I've always quilted their clothing, or they had their first birthday quilt or what have you. I need to remeasure this. I do not like things uneven. I have an OCD issue if my square is not even, and if it's not even, then it messes up everything. So if your square is not square, gosh, your cover will not be square or right. Your points will not meet. It has to be square. So whenever you're cutting your fabric, double check it or whatever. You want these points to meet when you put it together. All right, what did I miss? Okay, let me read. Yes, good idea, Brooke. Sometimes you have to until you get it right. Sometimes it takes like a good half an hour just, to get it going. And I'll be honest with you, a good sew machine is so important. Now, does this look foggy to you guys? I know my phone looks like it's foggy. A good sew machine is everything. That I do know. You can't go wrong with the Brothers. You can't go wrong with the Singer, just as long as you just have it done properly. Now, if you got an old machine that you haven't messed with, whew, Lord bless your soul. That's all I can say. It's hard starting with those old ones. They don't work as like they used to. So, thank you, Cindy. We are gonna get this. I can hear my husband in the background. He's watching the Cubs. Anyone in here a Cub fan? Oh, so back to my grandkids and their quilts. So I have an I Spy quilt. My youngest grandson, Parker, he, since I can't get his clothing because his mother is not much for that kind of thing. Every mom's different. She just could care too freaking, what about a clothing quilt. So I decided to make him an I Spy quilt. So he got to pick out all his squares for an I Spy play quilt, and I've been quilting it together. I'm hoping to finish that before Christmas. So I figured maybe our next sewing adventure, I'll bring that quilt and then show you guys, help you guys with your guys' machines along the way. Now, if you guys have an issue, like say if you're sewing two pieces together and you have like say two different colored threads, say you have, for instance, brown on the top and blue thread on the bottom, like your bobbin's blue and your brown on the top, and you wonder why that blue is popping through the top, is because your tension is wrong. That's another example of tension. Now, when you're sewing with 2 different colors of thread, it shouldn't pop up on the other side. And if it is, you need to lower your tension a number. So say if your tension's at 3, put it at a 2. You don't want that thread below popping up at the top in a different color. That makes sense? Oh, hey Diane. Yeah, we are like super Cubs fans. We've been for years. Okay, I need to read. I hope someone's like not saying something like, Selena, why are you not responding? All right, let me sew this last one for the row. So we're at row 4 of 7. And so I pretty much keep them in the order I want them. So when I sew these rows together, I'm doing the same thing. When I sew these rows together, like row 1 and row 2, what I normally do so I don't forget what row's what, beginning of each row, I put on the first square at the beginning of each row a pen. So I know that's row 1, that's the first square of row 1. Row 2, I put a pen on the first square. So I know that that's the first one of the row. So I do that for the first one of each row so I don't lose my rows. So the same thing with when you do this way, you're doing the same thing with rows. So I'm taking this one, I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. I put the first row on top of the second row and sew it together. But of course I'll have to explain that step next because there's another step to that. But let me read the feeds and I'll tell you what's going. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, sometimes, Brooke, when you take your machines in for estimates, you might as well buy a brand new machine because most estimates and getting a machine done and clean is between 50 to 100 bucks, depending on what kind of machine you have. Might as well go to Walmart and buy a Brothers machine for 50 bucks. Yeah, Angie, my suggestion is turn it on, start it from the beginning, thread it through, and if it doesn't work right, go buy a new one. But I wouldn't buy a new one until you try. Yep, just might as well buy a new one. That's all I can say. Man, I agree. Wow, Candy, that's amazing. Yeah, it depends on how you treat your machine. How you put it away, how you clean it, can last you up to that long, right, Candy? No, I agree with you, but mind you, River City lady, my machine's a FOF. You know, we're talking about a $2,000+ machine. I will be willing to take that machine in to get fixed because I spend a lot of money in this and this machine runs so smoothly and it's the best machine you can ever have. I will always buy a FOF. But, you know, for doing what you guys are doing, brothers, singers, they're the perfect thing to do. Hey, Kay, welcome back, baby cakes. Any question I didn't answer? Okay, I'm not sure, Cindy, if Diane does. Diane makes them, though. I know a few other shops as well who do. I agree, Diane. Yep, so Diane does have some in her shop. Any other shop owners here who does sell them? Not a problem. Okay, so we're caught up on feeds. I'm back to row what? We have row 5 going on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on row 5. Okay, so we're getting there. It goes faster once we're not chatting, right? Sorry, I'll get going here. Just flipping these sides and see what I like here. What do we got here? How did you get down here? Crazy thing. All right, I like that one. Like the greens. Now each Kantha square pack is different. Sometimes you get different colors. Some are more colorful than others. Oh, pink. I love pink. Hello, Pink. I love Pink, the singer, as well. Anyone here a Pink fan? I love Pink. All right, anyone in here who doesn't know what I'm doing, I can explain here how I'm sewing these rows. And let me know, too, if my camera looks foggy. On my computer, I look foggy. Me too, Cindy. Especially on the days you really are mad at your husband and you want to kill him. You just listen to Pink. It makes it feel also better. Oh my God. Yeah. We love our husbands. Or your kids, yes, we love our kids. I can't complain about mine. Mine, I'm sorry guys, I can say this because I guess I can. She's like Little Miss Perfect. And if she's watching, hi Abby. She's like perfect. Like I can never, heck, even if I tried discipline her, she would beat me up. But, and then I have to file child abuse. Well, her beating me. Her and her, like MMA and all that. But I got kicked out again. I'm back. Hey, Robin. Oh, you mean the beads, Robin, is what you're talking about? Yep, I was buffering. I'm back, though. Okay, so anyone else have questions about sewing? Or is it too confusing? Sorry if I am making it confusing. I'm just sewing, and we'll get this going here. It's pretty easy. It's pretty much the same thing over and over and over and over. Yes, you can. As long as you have the right needle. You can sew leather. Yes, ma'am. A needle is so important. There's different needles for different things. So do your research on different needles. Okie dokie. That's the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many 7 did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, you could do leather. You could do blue jeans. You could, heck, I've made children's quilts out of socks. I've done hats. I've done, oh gosh, any type of fabric. Blue jean, polyester. You can quilt most anything if you have the right needle. Of course you can't quilt metal. Hello. You get what I'm saying. When I'm talking about fabrics and textiles like that, you can do it. It's just a matter of having the right needle, the right thread for the project, because there is cotton thread, there's like cotton blends, there's polyester, there's silk threads, and a different type of materials to back those materials. Like some materials like silk and some different knit clothing, you need to have a certain kind of stabilizer to stabilize it, which makes a huge difference. Which here very soon, my daughter, is anyone a Walking Dead fan? Like the show Walking Dead? My daughter is in love with that show, and she's collected so many t-shirts. So I was going to be making her for Christmas, which she already knows if she's watching. She's pretty knows what I'm doing. I'll be making her a t-shirt quilt, but it looks like a film strip, as if you're looking at film strip, like the black and white film strip sections. So it'd be like the squares would be the picture, and then the film strip is at the top and the bottom. So that I'll be doing here on video as well. So, hey Cheryl. Yes, ma'am. I just took the pack apart. So yes, to answer your question, since you're new in the room, a Kantha square pack will quilt a top like this for your fabric cover for your journal. It will also take care of a liner on the inside as well. So if you want an inside quilted and outside quilted junk journal cover, that one Kantha fabric pack, the square pack, will do that. Yes, and I'm just doing the top right now for tonight. Then we'll continue on. But look at all those squares. Yep, these are all the squares from that. These are just the top alone is the 10 of the 6.5 by 6.5 inch squares from that pack. Yep. So I'm just doing the top right now. Right now, if you can see, I am doing the rows. They're like here. They're not sewn together. I'm just doing a rows right now. And I'm going to sew these rows together once I get them all done. We need 7 rows. That's what I'm doing right now. Now the needle on the end is the beginning of my rows, so I know when I sew them together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 1 more row to do, and I'm going to sew these together. Anyone lost or confused? Hey, Cheryl. Yes, don't worry, Joan. You're going to see it. I will be doing the video on how to make your own clothing quilt. So that would be a video in itself. So you guys can be able to, if you have t-shirts or whatever, like this one I'm doing would be a t-shirt quilt. But it's not like a lot of t-shirt quilts you see out there. The quilt I'm talking about is going to be machine sewn throughout the squares and everything. It's not a tie quilt. It's not a quilt that has a backing that you tack. No, it's going to be I'm going to have long arm surface done to it at the end because I want my daughter to be able to wash it like a million times and not have the stitches come out. Not that I can't stitch one together in the very end. Those who don't know what a long arm service done is or what a long arm is in a machine, I'll explain. Like this sew machine is a basic sew machine. There's another machine called a long arm. And what it is this huge machine. It's like $60,000 plus kind of machine. I have a lady friend who has one. And it makes all kinds of different stitches. After I finish the front of the quilt, I get the backing of the quilt and I take it into her and I'll do a video for you guys to show you what a long arm machine does. I figured at the very end, which is really cool and fun so you guys can have an idea. What I like about the long arm machine, I wish I had one, but I can't afford that right now, is that it puts so many stitches in your quilt that you can wash it, like especially with clothing. You guys know clothing. Clothing has a tendency to shift, move and all that, so and you want it to last a lifetime, so that long arm stitches all those designs on the top of that quilt, keeps it to last a long time, which is my goal. So that's gonna be fun. Now if you guys are in my Facebook group, you can if you go through and you scroll down to the bottom of the feeds, you guys can see I did a few quilts and one of them was of a movie film strip quilt. But it was for Star Wars fan. Her son liked a bunch of Star Wars shirts and stuff, and quilted that into like a movie flick, which was really cool. So check that out in my Facebook group. If you scroll all the way down at the bottom, that's before I met you guys, the junk journalers. Sorry, I'm gonna stop here in a second on row 7 to read the feeds and see what I'm missing on here, you guys. All right, so we got row 7 done. Woohoo! Now this, guys, this same theme goes for quilts. The longer the strip, usually is the width of the quilt, you know, and then you keep going, and there you go. You got yourself a scrappy quilt, or what do you call it? You call it granny square quilt, or some people call it a patchwork quilt. It's the same idea, but made into a quilt, but we're just doing a junk journal cover tonight. I don't understand why you'd be nervous about it. You just got to do it and just figure, you know, step by step, start from the beginning. Are we talking about quilting or are we talking about something else so I don't sound like a nerd? I don't know about creative, Brooke. I'm a master quilter. Oh, the size of the cover that I'm showing you guys that I'm making that you can make from that Kantha square pack is 14.5 by 10.5. And what's cool about that, yeah, it's a large junk journal cover, but you can cut it to size. Say you want one to be the size of a Reader's Digest. Like here's a Reader's Digest cover. Say you're going to cover it by gluing it on. Here's the Reader's Digest. Here's the cover. Look at all that space to give you room to turn it over and glue it down. The cool thing about Kantha fabric as well, it's stretchy. So when you put it together, you know, it's pretty stretchy. If you guys see what I'm talking about, you got like at least an inch on that side and about 1.5 inches on the other side, and even the other side. So you got plenty of room. I say if you're gonna do a traveler's junk journal size from like a Reader's Digest, it's perfect for the fold over and everything. Isn't that cool? That's awesome. I even brought in some, because I have a huge box of those beaded fabrics. I really loved this one. I just thought it was beautiful. This might be too big for this cover, But there's, you even add your beaded pieces to the fronts if you wanted to. You know what I mean? So I think you guys kind of got the idea. So we're almost getting there. So what I'm teaching you now with that Kantha square pack, if you did cut those 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch squares and you did 5 by 7, you get a 10.5 by 14.5 inch cover to cut the size. Does that make any sense? Yeah, as far as when someone goes live, I totally gotcha. I'm not sure. Like Diane went live the other day. I didn't even know she went live. I was totally shocked. All right, you guys ready? Now that I got the 7 rows, you guys ready to know how do you sew these rows together? That's the next step. Like, how do I sew those rows together? I'm going to show you. All right, let's see here. Let me get a dart. Yep, I agree, Diane. I understand that. Okay. All right, I'm going to lay it on my arm. Here's row number 1. Remember, I put that pin. That's the first square in row number 1. So I'm going to grab the row number 2. I'm going to put it side by side. Make sure there's the 2 pins matching, because that's row 1, that's row 2. Now I'm going to remove the pin from row 2, because I know that's row 2. And that first pin, always remind me, that's the first square at the top. Does that make sense? And then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the 2 nice sides, I'm going to sandwich it like I did from the beginning and put them together. All right, so they're sandwiched. So I'm going to sew along the line here because that's where I want it, because when I open it up, those are the 2 sides I want to see, right? So the 2 good sides are facing each other. So what not to do, do not put this in a machine and start sewing, because if you did that, all those points that's supposed to meet, like here to here, will not meet. You have to pin them together. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So you take the first point that you need to sew and you match them from this point to that point. And you take a needle, and then you pin those points together. So I'm going to do that to the first one. That's the first point. We got 5 of them to do. So that's point 1. All right, so I'm going to go to the next one. So I did the first one. I'm going to the next one. I want to match those seam lines together. Take a pin and pin it together. All right, so we got 2 of the 5, so go to the next one. Get the 2 seam lines, match them together, and then you want to stitch it with a needle. Pin it together. All right, I got 1 more. Take that seam, match the other one, and then stitch, you put the needle and pin it together, and then now you can sew. Otherwise, if you just sewn it straight down, they would not meet. So there you have it. So when I put those pins together on that side, you can see how those sides will match once I sew it together. So I'm going to go ahead and sew those together. Was that confusing? Does anyone not know what I just did? I'm going to sew that through. Now, I'm a huge fan of an iron. So I'm going to turn my iron on, and I'm going to iron that open here in a minute. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. All right, row 1 and 2 are complete. 1 row of 2 of 7. Now you take those needles out and put them in your tray so you don't pin yourself. But you keep that first needle at the first top. Hang on, I'm sorry, let me open her up. See, there's a reason why you need to iron, because look at it, see how it's ruffly and stuff? You want this to lay flat. You want this opened up and laying flat before you put the next row on. Otherwise, you're going to have a bulky top. You don't want your top to be bulky everywhere. So still keep that first needle in because that tells us that's the top of your whole thing. All right, so let me go ahead and turn my iron on really quick. Hello, Mr. Iron. All right. I usually unplug it because knowing me, I always forget to unplug it. What not to do, right? All right, so now that row 1 and 2 is doing its thing, I'm waiting for the iron to heat up. Me, I normally go to the next row 3 and 4. I would stitch those together, but I don't want to confuse you guys on that routine. I'd rather just wait to iron this flat and then just teach you guys how to put the next row on. So I'll just do that. Let me get this iron heated up. I'm gonna lean over here. Hello, Mr. Iron. And I'm gonna iron this open. Do not iron your needle. That cap of your needle will melt on your fabric. Not to say that I've done that. Not me. Okay, so there you go. Now you guys notice a difference since I ironed it. And those points meet. And you guys get what I mean? And that first needle's still there. So the next thing we want to do is grab the next row. And the next row with the needle at the top is the next one in the row. Which now we know that, I can remove that needle. And you sandwich these guys together and do the same step. I want to pin those pieces together, those points. So I'm going to pin those points together. Anyone confused? I'd say raise your hand, but I can't see you. So anyone confused, just shout out, I'm confused. And I will say it again, and because I have 7 rows, people, 7 rows. Hey, Julie, sorry, I just now looked up at my feeds. We are quilting. If you want to learn how to do this quilted Kantha Quilt cover, you could rewind this later after live. All right, guys, so I pinned those points together like I told you. Do not sew on a row without sewing those points because they will not meet and then you got a mess. Unless you want the messy look. That's, hey, some people like that messy look. Thanks, Diane. I'm about to change this bobbin here in a second. That damn bobbin. Anyone ever get frustrated that you have to change your bobbin? Oh my God, I wish our bobbins would last so much longer. It's almost like when you have to get gas for your car. It's so frustrating, like, no! Especially when your bobbin ends in the middle of a project and you have to stop, remove your project, and redo your bobbin. Oh my God, that is the worst. I guess it could be bad, worse, you know, like really bad, like your bobbin broke or... But, I'm just saying, those little things. Take your needles out. And let me go ahead and iron the 3rd row. We're almost there. 3 of 7. Oh, congratulations, Julie. I love when you get a new machine. Sweet. The cool thing about a new machine, like I said earlier, is that it's pretty much ready. You just thread it. Your needle's already set up. Your settings are already set up for basic sewing. All right, so there we have it. So we have 3 rows on of 7. So I'm going to get the 4th row right now. Like I said, the needle at the top, you keep that one in there. So we're now at the 4th row with the needle in the beginning of the 4th row. We know that's the right one we have next. So I take that needle out. Make sure you face them, face to face. Otherwise, the piece that is sewn will be in the front. I've done that. We do not want the backing to show on the front. So you have the nice, they call them the 2 good sides, which is the fronts of them. Top each other, like match each other, lay on top of each other, sandwich each other, you know, on top of each other. That's the best way I could put it. Another cool thing about ironing is, so when you go to match the next row, it lays flat. So you don't have no bulk. So when you're trying to pin those pieces together, there's no bulk at all. So let me go ahead and pin the next row. What's cool about this easy, you know, they call it granny squares, or they call it, like I said, scrappy, you know, like type of design. What's cool about the squares is that you can keep going and going and going and going, no matter what size. If you're making a quilt, if you're making a junk journal cover, it's like, it's the same routine over and over, and however wide and long you want it. And the cool thing is you could cut it to size for your journals, which is perfect. I agree. I love my brother's machine too. Now for quilting, I love a Pfaff. You know, it's just something about it. It's smooth. It's not clunkety clunk clunk. You don't have to worry about a dial setting. It automatically sets for you. All right, let me sew this guy on. Like I said, at the end of this live, I'll be doing a giveaway. So someone should be winning one of these junk journal covers. For those who've been paying attention, I'm going to be asking a question at the end of this live about sewing, and maybe you guys know the answer. So remember to listen to what I'm talking about, different ways of sewing and binding and what have you. So keep an ear open. It's going to be a question. It's going to be a little tough, but I'll be repeating it throughout here, so you guys will hear it more than once. So, all right, so I'm ironing that flat. Remember, do not iron your needle. What not to do. All right, so that's what we have so far. We're getting there. Woo, looks like I put a lot of yellow in this one. Okay, so I'm putting on the 5th row. Okay, what am I missing here? Oh, I hate that, Diane. It is the worst. Cool, yeah. Do you just only do papers, Julie, or do you quilt fabrics? Bye, Kay. I'm glad you got to join in, hon. Thank you, Julie. Me too. I love purple, love yellow. I guess I love color in general. I say green's my favorite color, though, when it comes to, if I pick a color, I say I absolutely love green. Aw, thank you, Laura. But the thing is, you guys could do this too. Now you guys see how easy it is. I understand it's kind of hard to understand when I'm going live, but it's really not that hard. The main thing is make sure you cut your squares even, and just sew, you know. Even if you know, just sew. You know, there's no perfect way. So same thing, guys, here. I'm taking the next row, taking the 2 good sides, face each other at the bottom of that row. See how the quilt is going? So I face the 2 good sides together. Make sure you pin those points. So I'm going to go ahead and pin those points. Yes, I guess if you're doing bohemian, you do want a bunch of color, right? So you want to add a bunch of different varieties and things like that. For me, sometimes it's, I see that beaded pieces here. I was thinking about if I would put on the cover and stuff, but it seems like this has so much color. Sometimes it might be nice to tame it down with something like that, or sometimes that beaded pieces is too much. Me personally, I love the quilted look. Maybe because I'm a quilt lover. I don't know. Another cool thing about this junk journal cover, even if you don't use it for a junk journal cover, it's like a perfect cover for a baby doll. For those who have any children or grandchildren, it's a perfect size. I mean, it's absolutely, let me see, where did it go? Here it is. I mean, 10.5 by 14.5 is an awesome baby doll quilt. All you have to do is back it. And to back it, you just face the 2 fabrics, sew along the edges, make sure you leave a 2-inch opening, turn it inside out, iron it, and there you have it. Your baby doll quilt be done. So very easy. I think, at least. Those who have babies, dolls for their grandkids, children who love those kind of things. I only have grand boys. I do not have any granddaughters. So, and my daughter is 17 and she definitely does not want a baby doll quilt. If I did, I think I would like get the "you are dead" kind of eyes. Like, what the heck, Mom? I'm 17. Oh my God, she'd kill me. Now for my fur pet, I would definitely do it for my fur pet. My cat, she lays on anything I provide her. All right, so sometimes you guys look at this, like just a second ago, I got confused. I'm like, oh shit, shoot. Whoops, excuse my language. Where is the top of this? See, the cool thing, like I said, by me keeping that one pin in, reminds me that's the top left corner. So you just keep that top pin in there, do not remove it, because you just have a moment like I just had, and I was like, oh no, what happened to my top? Which one was the top? Because those colors are so colorful. Hello, Lynn. All right, so we have 2 more rows to go. Obviously, this is the first of the row, so get the next row with the first needle. Take the needle out of that next row. Again, like I said, make sure the good sides match each other. Top the good sides together. That's the top, this is the top. You do not want the back on the front, right? Last thing you want. So I'm going to go ahead and pin those points. This stuff is so stretchy. I could not imagine if you did not pin those points, then they would just shift like no tomorrow. All right. Almost getting there. Ugh, I hate sometimes when you need to stretch it to match. I guess that is a positive about this fabric, is that you can stretch it to match the points. If you sewn too close at one point. Sure, come on over. I don't mind. I'll be into a quilting phase here coming up soon, so I might as well. If you guys like me teaching how to quilt, I will do more of it. Some people find it very boring, so sure. I would love to have quilting lessons. I imagine it's kind of got to be hard. If I did videos, I'm sure it'd be easier than doing live. Live, trying to teach you guys is kind of hard, because to me, I could just run right through it, but I can't show you close up as I sew and all that. But if I did videos, I can do that. I can go close up and you guys can kind of have an idea what's going on. All right. This is a stretchy one. Come on now, you got this. Oh, yeah, I love sewing. Yeah, if you guys get a chance, if you guys check out my Facebook group, you'll see some of the quilts if you go down, way down in the feeds that I've created and done. There's some videos on some of them. Let me go ahead and iron that one. Now, if I was doing this alone, like I said before, this would be done like in a half an hour. It takes me about a half an hour to quilt one of these tops. It's really easy. Trying to explain it and talk takes some time. So, all right, we're on the last one, so I don't really need that pen anymore. You guys pretty much understand the process. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, hey, hon. Yeah, my Facebook group. I had to get off this live and do a new one because of YouTube had kicked me out. Now, if you go to my video before this, if you come out of this room and go to my first video, I have my YouTube group linked down in the last video. You can click on it, or you can wait till I end this video and I will have the link edited into it. I can't do it when I'm live, but or if you go to my Etsy page, if you're familiar with me on Etsy, the first thing you see when you go into my Etsy page, I share my YouTube information and my Facebook information in there as well. You just pretty much request to join and I accept you and all that stuff. So oh no, I was kicked off a few times today. So, but the cool thing is I know by now how to get kicked off and get back in. Okay, so I'm on the last row. but just by using the tabs and 10 of those 6.5 inch by 6.5 inch squares in that pack, look what I have left yet. I still have all these, and I still have 10 of those 4.5 by 4.5 inch ones. This will also give you guys enough to make another cover. So it should be up to 2 covers worth in each one of those Kantha packs. So, isn't that awesome? I didn't know that until I sewn one of these today. I was like, I didn't realize as much fabric as I put in there, you can make up to 2 different, oops, there's another square. You can make up to 2 junk journal covers this way. I even have enough left over for tabs, and I also have enough left over. I'm making a tie for one of these as well, so with the leftover scraps. Yeah, so that Kantha square pack gives you more than you realize. It's more than I thought was going to offer you guys. I'm still offering those who want to buy one in the shop that they still get a free junk journal cover that is 10.5 by 14.5, which is not a quilted one like you see today. It's just one of these. There's like a variety of colors. You know, there's so many colors I can't show them all to you because there's so many. You get a full 14.5 by 10.5 cover. And the cool thing about those junk journal cover packs that you get, they come with a beaded fabric. Like if you get a pack of 4 or a pack of 3, each one comes with a beaded applique along with the 5th junk journal cover or the 4th junk journal cover, depending on what pack you get. So you can't beat that. And if you get the Kantha square packs, you get a free junk journal cover. So it works out. All right, so we got the 7th one done, and my bobbin's still staying strong. And like I said before, it's the last of these Kantha quilts that I'll be offering until maybe just past winter, like in January, February. I might buy some more or something. So, all right, so just one pack gave me nearly 2 of these junk journal covers. Aren't they awesome? Now, is anyone confused? No one said they're confused or what, how to make them. But look at this too. I was talking to someone. This is the back side of it. Some people love the look of the inside out quilt look. You can even do a cover where the inside can be the quilted, the outside can give the, oops, sorry guys, the zoom, of the inside cover look. Some people like that scrappy look. Now, if you do this, you can rub your finger along the stitch line and you can make these threads really thready. So it'll give you like a shabby look if you wanted to do that as well. These threads can be really raveled by just raveling your thumb back and forth on them and they shred. That's another way to look at doing your quilted top. I honestly prefer it this way. I like because I love how the stitches are in all these different directions. They're not like the same direction. I love that. So, aren't they absolutely beautiful? Yes, I like the shabby look too. There's so many different ways you can do it. I mean, you know, you could get away with doing so much with the shabby look. Yeah. Aw, thank you, Julie. I hope so. And there's so many ways you can do it, you know. You just could keep going, like I said, and you can make a quilt with these, or do your junk journal covers, baby doll quilts, coasters. Anyone ever make coasters? Those are easy to make too. Yes. All right, you guys ready for a giveaway for the first one? Before I go. Oh, Laura, you didn't see that part. Okay, so earlier I was showing, is anyone familiar with the tools like this? Like you get the different stencils and stuff like that. They come in different sizes. Anyone familiar with these? I'm gonna bring this up here and put a darker fabric behind it. They usually have, you know, it's like measuring. It's got the numbers and it's see-through. So you can kind of see where your fabric ends and begins. So wherever you do cut kind of thing, you can cut. Like for instance, say here, like I want to start cutting right here and I want 2.5 inches. Each one of these squares, I'm going to get it closer without a glare, are 1 inch. These blocks right here. Now this orange part is 1/2 inch. So to do 2.5 by 2.5, I take this stencil along the edge and get to the 2 blocks like I want. And then I take a rotary tool. I don't know if you got to see that. I was showing the rotary tools. There's so many different kinds you can get. And then you take it onto one of those little, some called it healing boards, whatever. They're the plastic boards for cutting. And then you go along that line because now you can see where your fabric is. And this is hard. You take that blade right along that line and then you get your perfect square. Like I said. And then like I said here, if I get one of the squares, you can see this is a 2.5 by 2.5. So you can see the 2 blocks and then the orange part, which is the half. And you just change it the opposite direction on that fabric line and go the opposite direction. So this would be an exact 2.5 by 2.5. So pretty much what I do, if I could take my camera down here to give you an example, I'm going to cut this fabric here. Let's see if I can find here, let me get one of these squares here. So an example, like if I took this piece of fabric, I took that stencil like I told you where I needed to measure. I put it on the fabric. You can't really see it from up there where I want it. I take my tool. I've already measured the 2.5 and 2.5 on the stencil line. And I take that tool and I put the blade against this stencil and run it straight up. And then I get this strip. Obviously, it's not 2.5 by 2.5, but it's 2.5 wide. So I turn it and measure 2.5 square. And then I got my 2.5 inch square. That easy. Does that make sense? Or did I confuse you? It could be. Sorry about the backwards. Yes. Having the right tools matters. Having a nice rotary tool. A lot of times Walmart and other places sells it where you get the tool, stencils, and the board for one price. It's a great deal. It's worth buying the combo. And it just makes your job easier. Otherwise, don't use scissors, cutting it by hand, or, I mean, you can, but it's going to take you freaking forever. Having the right tools makes the job go by faster. Oh, Cindy, good night. Sorry, I'm just reading the feeds. Yes, Hobby Lobby, they have them in a pack and all that. There's so many different ones you can get, so many different brands. So yeah, there's so many different kinds you can get. Okay, so giveaway. You guys ready for a giveaway? I'll be giving away the first junk journal cover we got. Let's do this. I love that one. That one seems to be laying really well. That was the first one I did. My tension on that was a little heavy, but it's still good. Okay, for those who are watching this video, before you go, I'm going to do a giveaway and then I'm going to head out. Tonight was just basically to teach you guys how to do this. I did have the inside cover already done as well with a pocket to show you guys, but I think this is good enough. I think I was enough for you guys to think about. They can be expensive, I agree. If you can do a coupon for buying these tools, it makes a huge difference. So I'm going to use this one to cover up my machine, turn my machine light off. Okay, so the question is, for those who are paying attention for this giveaway, not a problem. There's so many things out there, and a lot of us know where you guys can find it. I honestly, the cheapest place I found these tools and stuff is Walmart. So, just saying. Okay, for the junk journal cover giveaway, the question is, now, so when you're sewing together a quilted pattern like this, what do you use to pin each row together? Oh, come on now, people. You better get this if you don't understand this basic question. Ready, set, go. What do you use to put together your rows? That's so easy. Yes, first person in my feeds is Cheryl, and she said needles. That is correct. Congratulations, Cheryl. All right, second question's harder. Straight pins, all those guys, you guys are right. First person was Cheryl, though. Cheryl, do me a favor. Message me in Etsy, and so you can claim this, okay, babes? I know who you are, but to claim it, please, guys, message me, okay? All right, so the second cover, I'm gonna do a second cover giveaway. All right. Don't worry, stay tuned. Who knows, maybe I'll have more giveaways before you guys go. Not a problem, Cheryl. Congratulations, dear. All right. All right, this cover here is the one we just got done sewing. It's a little bit on the stretchy side, but you guys can stretch it to fit. It's perfect. So the second question is, what am I drinking tonight? Ready, set, go. Oh my God. Christine, you're the first person in my feeds. Wine. That is so true. Congratulations. All right, you guys ready for another giveaway? You guys know I'm spoiling you for listening. All right, so Christine, please message me in Etsy for your covers, please. Thank you. All right, you guys ready for another giveaway? I got beaded fabrics for my last of my Mohicans. This beaded fabric I picked out of the lot because, oh my God, it just reeked beauty. Look at how beautiful this piece is. I've seen a lot of beaded fabrics, but this one was just so elegant. And I could see definitely putting it into a garden journal or something like that. It's just beautiful. All right, so the question is, for those who are listening, they could be hard questions or easy questions. Yes, I am, Gloria. That's okay, but you can play back the video. I will edit this video at the end and put my shop link and information below for those who want to know how to get to my Facebook or how to get to my Etsy shop or how to get to a pack of this Kantha fabric. So, sorry, YouTube had just kicked me out and I had to go start it all anew. So, I'll make sure it's down there for you guys. I know, get your hand on the trigger, people. All right, so the question for this is, what is my daughter's favorite show? Ready, set, go. And let me get pen and paper so I can go ahead and make sure I pin your guys' information on here. Otherwise, I will like forget. We don't want that. All right. All right, the first person I have in my feeds. All right, hang on here. I'm gonna get through the feeds here. You guys said that so fast. Are you done already? Said Gloria. Thanks, said Gloria. All right. Betty is the first one in my feed, and she said Living Dead, but yes, it's Walking Dead, Betty, but I totally get what you're saying. Congratulations, Betty. That was hilarious. It's the Walking Dead, not the Living Dead, but that's okay. Hilarious. All right, don't worry. I got more beaded pieces, people. Don't worry. I got more. I wanted a lot of winners tonight. Don't you worry. I wanted a lot of you guys to get an opportunity. All right, for those who already won tonight, please do me a favor. I want you to win more, sure, but let's get the other people an opportunity, okay? So if you won one already, I'm going to be passing you up to the next person in line, just to be fair, okay? All right, so. Aw, thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome, Betty. All right, this piece is gorgeous. This is the piece I thought I might put on the front of a cover. It's just beautiful. It's got all the beads and all the sparkly and all that. Thank you, Brooke. All right, so the question I have here. All right. Okay, I'm not going to ask that question. That was a bad one. All right. All right, I'm laughing about myself. That's pretty sad. All right, so the question is going to be, when I was talking about your sew machine and setting it up, when you set up your sew machine, what's the number your tension should be? Ready, set, go. All right. Almost, almost. All right, Lisa, you're the no-name girl, right? It is 5. You want to start at number 5 and then work your way. Usually a 3-4 is good, but a 5, when I was talking about the Kantha fabric, setting it up. Congratulations, Lisa. That's no name, right, Lisa? Yes. Don't worry, we got more. Now, if you're setting up your sewing machine, for those who kind of misunderstood that, when you're setting your sewing machine up for anything in the beginning of anything, now as far as the Kantha fabric, it's a 5. But now when it comes to setting it up for doing sewing projects, to start from the straight beginning to know where to start, yes, you want to start between 3.5 and a 4. Yes. Not a problem. All right, so the next one I have, this one was really gorgeous. All right, this one here reminds me of Christmas because it looks like it's like what? We got Jesus and Mother Mary and who is that? The Joseph and whoever was the guy? 3 Kings or what is that? Guys, sorry, I should know this. I was a pastor's kid. All right, so it looks Christmassy. It's blue, it's gorgeous. It's large. Wiseman, thank you, Corinne. Okay, so this piece here, what size, to answer the question, what size square do you use to quilt a junk journal cover that I just showed you? What is the measurement per square? What size? Ready, set, go. All right. The first person in my feeds. Looks like we have Joan. She's Melissa Mint O'Neill. Congratulations, Joan. Don't get upset. The first person I find in my feeds is who I say. Everyone's feeds are different. That's why, to make it fair. All right, we got 2 more. Don't you worry. Look at this big boy. He measures 5-inch round. He's a beautiful green. All right. So the question I have here would be, ooh, hear the guys hear the train in the background? I hear my cat too. Oh my gosh. Everyone's like, it's bedtime. Okay. So the question is, what did I sew these junk journal covers with? What did I sew the junk journal covers with? What did I use to make these junk journal covers with? Ready, set, go. Come on, people. You should know this one. Thank you. Congratulations, Corinne. You're the first person in my feeds. Thread. Thank you. All right, if you don't know what thread is, I'm afraid you shouldn't start sewing just yet. Oh my gosh. I guess that's a trick question because yes, it could be thread, it could be Kantha fabric, it can be, you know, my sewing machine. Yes, okay, we got one more. This is like an embroidery piece that is gorgeous. It's got a beautiful deep gold, burgundy, a mauve, and green. Just beautiful. It reminds me of this nice, beautiful heart in the middle. All right, the last question, which, okay. Now, those who are paying attention in the beginning, Brooke called me what? A master what? Come on, people. I got the first half for you. Ready, set, go. All right, Betty, you already won one. The next person one in line is Wendy Clark, which her name goes by Deb Minark. Wendy, did you get one already? No, Wendy, you didn't. Congratulations, Wendy. Woohoo! I'm joking. I wasn't being mean. I was playing. All right. I'm glad you guys had fun. Hang on. You guys hear my cat? Hang on. Katie Lynn. Lord have mercy. Come on. Come on. Lord have mercy. All right. Before you guys go, I want to surprise you. You guys want 2 more giveaways? I have 2 more beautiful pieces because I want everyone to get an opportunity. Someone in here didn't win. So, hey, Katie, y'all done now? The door's open. Okay. All right, let's do 2 more because I want you guys all to win something. Katie K. Yeah, she's my baby. All right, so originally I seen these 2 pieces. I cut out one. One was this lovely guy, and one was this lovely girl, and I was going to use them on the inside of something. So I already cut out the edge of the guy. I figured you can sew along the border onto something. It just looked really cool. So I have 2. So let's do 2 more giveaways before I leave. They're lightweight, easy to ship, and you guys can use it. But look at that, like pretty much gypsy lady, or what do you want to call her? Looks cool. It looks like she's got a knife in her hand. Like, yes. What's that? Brooke, is he in? What? I'm missing it. Oh, cool. I'm so glad, Wendy, that you won something. Oh, my cat loves attention, period. If I have doors, my cat does not like doors closed, so it drives her nuts. Yes, I have 2 more to go, so at least we have 2 more winners, so most of the people who are actually joining in can win something. All right, so I have this guy here who's got some kind of trumpet, that or he's drinking wine like I am. So it looks like he's got some kind of sword or something. He's kind of like cool. I wonder if I had a solid color so I can show you guys kind of what he looks like. So you kind of like see him a little bit better. So here's him. We'll start with him first. All right, so the question is, what is my favorite sewing machine? Oh boy, is that a hard one or what? Maybe I shouldn't ask that one. Ready, set, go. It sure does, Brooke. All right, Jana, you know what a FOF is. Girl, you're on fire. Yes, I love my FOF. Thank you, Jana. Congratulations. You didn't win nothing tonight. All right, we got one more. We got this beautiful, what do you want to call her? Gypsy lady, or if it's offensive, I'm sorry. Bohemian lady, I'm offensive, I'm sorry. Beautiful. Oriental lady, whatever you want to call her. She's beautiful. I didn't cut her out along the edge, but her colors are beautiful. I don't know if you guys can see the embroidery work that someone did. She's really pretty. All right, so the last question is, if your sewing machine doesn't work, what do you do with it? You remember when I said I was just joking, but why not? Ready, set, go. Here you go. Nan, you're correct. Throw it out the window. Don't do that. But just start all over. If your sewing machine is driving you nuts, the thread's not working, the tension's not working, pull all that freaking thread out and start all over. Start with the thread at the top, then do your bobbin, put a whole new brand new bobbin thread in. Do not use the last bobbin thread. Just start all over. Do not throw it out the window, even though that was a nice joke. Man, congratulations. Yes, that all else fails. You can go to Walmart and buy a Brothers for like 50 to 100 bucks. I mean, hello. And it's already set up and ready to go. Please. Cannot say you cannot sew or afford a sewing machine. You can. So congratulations to all the winners. I thank you guys ever so much for joining me. I hope I made it easy. Again, like I said, I'll do a video tutorial so it's easier to do step by step so you guys can stop and go. And there'll be a better close-up on a sewing machine. I will make sure I have a Brothers sewing machine, so then a lot of you guys have a Brothers. Those who know Brothers and Singer, their sewing machines are similar with their settings. So that's why I said Brothers. So yeah. Costco's, exactly. Now another thought too, anyone use the Savings Catcher app on Walmart? Because Walmart has a Savings Catcher app, and all you can, My cat is jumping into boxes. Hang on here. Katie K. Stop. So the Savings Catcher app, if you scan your receipts every time you go to Walmart, they price promise anyone else's prices and they give you the money back and they put it on the app. And you can save all that money on the app and buy it towards the sewing machine. Aw, thanks, Brooke. Thank you, Brooke. Aw, thank you. I'm glad I got to share with you guys some kind of quilting. You know, congrats again to the winners. You get to keep the threads that are loose. All yours. No, thank you. I'm glad I got to help you out. I'm glad you guys got to win something and get something in this. And those who can't sew, don't want to sew, who would love a cover like this, message me. I would love to make you one, set you up an order. So yeah, just message me. It takes me about a half an hour to make one. So just let me know. You guys know where to find me. Aw, Vicky's in the house. Vicky, I didn't know you were in the room. I will, Julie, I promise. Not a problem. I will edit this video since I had to get out and come back in. So I'll make sure you guys can get back to this and find any links that you need. Sorry for the new people who can't seem to get to my shop or anything to know what to do. Bye, Betty. Thank you, Betty, for joining me. Bye. I think Kristen came and gone. I know she had cooked dinner and stuff. A lot of you guys left, but that's okay. Bye. You guys have a wonderful evening, and tomorrow there's a daily deal, so be prepared. I think it's something you guys haven't seen in a while and you guys might like, and it's a good price. So bye. Thank you guys again. Message me winners. Please claim your prizes. I know it's one extra step for you guys, but it helps me out too. Bye, guys, and I hope you guys break out those sew machines. It's time. If not, buy one. Use your Walmart app. Save your monies. Sure, message me on Etsy, please. That would be great. It's like, what's nice about it, guys, it's another reminder to me, even though I have your name in here, like there's some people that have got prizes that have not claimed them. I still have a box with your guys' stuff with your names on that have not messaged me to claim them. So you have to please claim them because it's your prize, right? All right, you guys have a blessed evening. I had fun. I can't wait to do this again. Good night, y'all. Bye. All right, I got to figure out how to get off of this one. See, my camera's at a different angle and everything. So bye if I didn't say bye.